Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. Welcome to Bud Mouse. This is Joe, the bearded historian. He'll tell you an interesting history. Be careful of his soldiers, they can be brats. This is Angel, she's an entity. She'll cause chaos and plant her hands at you. This is Sue, she likes spirits, not the alcohol. She's the reason this channel exists. This is David, he likes fire trucks. He's here occasionally. Bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong, bing bongy bong. We preserve his story. Good morning to you. Are you ready? Here we go. Shout out time. Here's a shout out just for you. You support me, so I support you. This shout out is for the Right Life channel. It says Right Life, another generic travel channel. I don't know that I would say it's generic, but that's my opinion. Description reads, we are Catherine and Eddie. I will try to remember that. We met in Hong Kong in 2009. They both on a round of the world adventures. After a few years of a long distance dating, I can read words. They got married, and they are traveling together and enjoying their lives. So check them out. If you like travel adventures, which we do, like, share, comment, let them know we said to you, and have a good day. You, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, the bearded historian is going to work at it again. We're going to be looking at Christmas by the different countries around the world, for those of us who like to tune in from other parts of the world. Now, Christmas around the world varies by country, duh. The day of Christmas, and in some cases the day before or the day after, is recognized by many national governments and cultures worldwide, including areas where Christians are a minority, and even some non-Christian areas. Periods of formal colonial rule introduced the celebration, like in Hong Kong, and others. Christian minorities or foreign cultural influences have led populations to observe the holiday. Christian traditions for many nations include the installing and lighting of Christmas trees, hanging of Advent wreaths, Christmas stockings, candy canes, setting up the cookies and milk, and the creation of nativity scenes depicting the birth of Jesus Christ. Christmas carols may be sung, stories told about such figures as Baby Jesus, St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, Father Christmas, Christkind, or Grandfather Frost, the sending and exchange of Christmas card greetings, observance of fasting, and special religious observances such as a midnight mass or vespers on Christmas Eve, the burning of the Yule log, and the giving and receiving of presents are also common practice. Along with Easter, Christmas is one of the most important periods on the Christian calendar, often closely connected to the other holidays this time of year, such as Advent, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, St. Nicholas Day, St. Stephen's Day, New Year's, and the Feast of the Epiphany.
You need to look up and see when you do like the history of when Christmas cards started.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to peek into.
And why, and like how.
Yeah. Now, many national governments recognize Christmas as an official public holiday, while others recognize it as a symbolic way, but not an official legal observance. Countries which Christmas is not a formal public holiday include countries like Afghanistan, Algeria, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Bhutan, Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, China, excepting Hong Kong and Macau, the Comoros, Iran, Israel, Japan, Kuwait, Laos, Libya, the Maldives, Mauritania, Morocco, North Korea, Oman, Qatar, the Sahrawi Republic, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Taiwan, or the Republic of China, Tajikistan, Thailand, Tunisia, Turkey, Turkmenistan, the United Arab Emirates, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, and Yemen. Countries such as Japan, where Christmas is not a public holiday but is popular despite there only being a small number of Christians, have adopted many of the secular aspects of Christmas, such as gift-giving, decorations, and Christmas trees.
Also have to cover their Christmas tradition. Because I can't remember, I think it's Japan or maybe it's China, but one of the two does KFC real big at Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. Christmas celebrations from around the world can vary remarkably in form, reflecting different cultural and national traditions. Countries with a strong Christian tradition, a variety of Christmas celebrations have developed that incorporate regional and local cultures. Starting off the bat, we have Africa, where Ethiopia is considered a public holiday in Eritrea and celebrated on January the 7th or on 27 Tahas of the Ethiopian calendar. Christmas is called Badet in Eritrea or Dina in Ethiopia.
And that's a
That's
sneeze.
a sneeze. Many people who are Christian in the two countries fast for 40 days. It's called Fast of the Prophets. Then they head to church at dawn on Christmas morning. On Christmas Day, there will be colorful musical celebrations which involve the priests dressed in their best robes, performing rituals, including dancing and playing drums and other instruments. Early in the morning at dawn, everyone dresses in white and heads to the nearby church. Late in the afternoon, there will be a traditional game of Gina, a kind of hockey. According to an Ethiopian legend, the game was being played by the shepherds who were tending the flocks on the night that Jesus was born. The game is attended by the leader of the community, and a prize is awarded to the winner of the Gina game. Most Ethiopians don a traditional shama, or thin white cotton wrap, with brightly colored stripes across the ends. The holiday is followed up by the 3-day festival, Timkat, starting on January 19th, and celebrating the baptism of Jesus Christ. Now, Nigeria, Christmas Day is a public holiday, which is always marked by the emptying of towns and cities of Nigerians who have been successful returning to their ancestral villages to be with the family and to bless those less fortunate. As the towns and cities empty, people jam the West African markets to buy and transport live chickens, goats, and cows that will be needed for the Christmas meals. On Christmas Eve, traditional meals are prepared according to the traditions of each region. Nigerians as a whole tend to prepare various meats in large quantities. In the south, a dish called jollof rice is served with stews of various meats, along with boiled beans and fried plantains. In the north, rice and stew, as well as tuwancha kafa, a rice pudding served with various meat stews, is preferred. In the north, several local desserts are found to be made that are hardly ever found in other parts of Nigeria. An alternative in both regions, but more favored in the south, is a pepper soup with fish, goat, or beef, which is also served with fufu, a pounded yam. Served with this food are an array of mainly alcoholic drinks, such as the traditional palm wine or various local imported beers or wines. Children and women may be served locally made soft drink equivalents instead. Gift giving in Nigeria often involves money and the flow of gifts from the more fortunate to the less fortunate. After the successful visitors have come from their cities, towns, and even overseas, they are given time to settle in. Afterwards, local relatives begin approaching them, asking for assistance of some kind, whether financial or not. Financial donations and elaborately wrapped gifts may be given out at lavish parties, weddings, and ceremonies. Sometimes the money is scattered into the air to be grabbed by others or stuck onto the sweaty foreheads of those dancing. Religion in Nigeria is equally divided between Christians and Muslims. There are occasional outbreaks of religious conflict. The Islamic sect Boko Haram attacked Christian churches with bombings on Christmas of 2009. Down in South Africa, Christmas is a public holiday celebrated on December the 25th. Many European traditions are maintained despite the distance from Europe. Christmas trees are set up in homes, and the children are given presents in their stockings. Traditional fir Christmas trees are popular, and children leave a stocking or milk and cookies out for Santa on Christmas Eve. The gift bearer is Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. Towns and cities have carols by candlelight in the beginning of the festive season, where people in groups come together to sing Christmas carols and donate toys and clothing to needy children. The Christmas meal is mince pies, turkey, gammon, beef tongue, turducken, corned beef, green salad, roast beef, or barbecue outdoors. The meal is finished with a Christmas pudding, ice cream, or trifle. Christmas crackers are used to make noise. Despite Christmas occurring in the height of the southern hemisphere's summer, wintry motifs common to the northern hemisphere are popular. In Senegal, Christmas is a popular holiday in the Muslim-majority country, while Zambia is an official holiday in the Christian official nation. The holiday involves churches filled with scenes of nativity, plays, and carols for charity. On over to the Americas. In the Bahamas, Junkanoo festivals are held on Boxing Day, December 26th, and again on New Year's Day. It is a local cultural event dating back to the African heritage, featuring goatskin drums, cowbell, and brass instruments with choreographed dancers dressed in traditional, one-of-a-kind, handmade, colorful costumes, singing and dancing. Bahamian Christmas foods include benny cake, coconut cake, flour cake from Ackland's and Cat Island, fruit cake.
Cat Island?
Cat Island.
Angel wants to go there.
Yes. Fruit cake, baked ham and turkey, traditional peas and rice, baked macaroni, coleslaw, plantains, fried fish, boiled fish, nasa grouper and snappers, and johnny cake. Drinks like eggnog, lemonade, and local beers, Calcic and Sands are also served on Christmas. Cuba has a long tradition of celebrating Christmas as well. Families used to gather at the dining table and used to go to Mass after dinner. The communist regime led by Fidel Castro abolished the paid Christmas holiday in 1969, citing that workers were needed to continue the sugar harvest. In 1998, the regime declared December 25th a leisure day as requested by Pope John Paul II as a condition to visit the country. It is a one-day public holiday and is celebrated only in the evening. Jamaica, radio stations play Christmas carols as early as October, reggae style and some international. Jamaicans paint their houses and hang new curtains for Christmas. Pepper lights, the local name for Christmas lights, go up even on trees. Junkanoo, or John Canoe, is a traditional Christmas celebration in Jamaica, influenced by the African ancestors. This includes street dancing and great parades through the streets of Jamaicans dressed in colorful masquerade costumes in which masks are worn.
Sounds like,
almost like Halloween.
Yeah, also I was thinking of, Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Mardi Gras.
That's what popped in my head.
Yeah. Just colorful masquerade costumes in which the masks are worn. The traditional Jamaican Christmas meal includes ackee, saltfish, breadfruit, fried plantains, boiled bananas, freshly squeezed fruit juice, and tea for breakfast, chicken, curried goats, stewed oxtail, rice, and gungo beans for dinner. For dessert, sorrel drink and a Jamaican rum fruit cake along with red wine are served in many homes. Many people attend Christmas for Christmas Eve or Christmas morning worship service. Some people go to the Christmas Eve Grand Market to walk with family and friends and shop until 2 or 3 a.m. Christmas Day. Some British Christmas...
God, I can't imagine shopping that late.
At 3 a.m. No. Some British Christmas traditions have stayed in Jamaica, like Father Christmas, roast beef or lamb dinners, and Boxing Day. El Salvador, Christmas for El Salvador, still carries a strong meaning that brings families together despite the business on the streets and the red, green, and white colors flooding the environment. Salvadoran people try to honor what they consider to be the true meaning of Christmas, the birth of Jesus. In El Salvador, children celebrate Christmas by playing with firecrackers, fountains, and other small little volcano sparklers, estrellas, little stars. Teenagers and younger adults display bigger fireworks or Roman candles. Families also have parties in which they dance and eat. Santa Claus is known for appearing in TV and print ads, but people ask children if they've already wrote a letter to little baby Jesus. Traditional Salvadoran Christmas dishes are sautéed turkey sandwiches in a baguette with lettuce and radishes, Salvadoran tamales, and sweetbread for dessert. Drinks include hot chocolate, pineapple juice, Salvadora horchata, cherry Salvadoran horchata, and coffee. At midnight on December 25th, everyone gathers around the Christmas tree and opens their presents. In Guatemala, on Christmas, people dress up in an ornamental hat called a piranta and dance in line. As with much of the country's culture, the celebration includes Spanish and Mayan elements. North America, hey guys, Christmas is observed wildly. On December 25th, governments recognize the holiday include those of the United States, where it is a federal holiday for federal employees and a legal holiday for the respective states. Canada, where it is a nationwide statutory holiday. Mexico, where it is also a nationwide statutory holiday, and several others. Now, Canada is one of the in the Canadian provinces where English is predominantly the language, Christmas traditions are largely similar to those in the U.S., with some lingering influences from the United Kingdom and newer traditions brought in by immigrants from other European countries. Mince pies, plum pudding, and Christmas cake are traditionally served as Christmas dinner desserts, followed by the traditional meal of roast turkey, stuffing, potatoes, and winter vegetables. Christmas table crackers are not uncommon, and in some parts of Newfoundland, Prince Edward Island, and Nova Scotia, Christmas traditions include mummers. North American influences on Christmas are evident by the hanging of stockings on Christmas Eve to be filled by Santa Claus. However, Canadian children believe that the home of Santa Claus is located at the North Pole in Canada, and through Canada Post, address thousands of letters to Santa Claus every year, including the postal code designation H0H0H0.
That's funny.
Ho, ho, ho. I
think
that.
I remember hearing that, but I did not know about the zip code.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
That's cool. The tradition of decorating Christmas trees, whether fresh cut or artificial, was introduced to Canada in 1781, originally by German soldiers stationed in Quebec during the American Revolution, and is now common in private homes and commercial spaces throughout most of Canada. As Canada is a cold, dark country in the winter, lights are often put up in public places, on commercial and residential buildings in November and December. Many communities have celebrations that include light events such as the Cavalcade of Lights Festival in Toronto, the Montreal Christmas Fireworks, or the Bright Nights in Stanley Park, Vancouver. A national program, Christmas Lights Across Canada, illuminates Ottawa, the national capital, and the 13 provincial and territorial capitals. In the province of Quebec, Christmas traditions include Réveillon, Père Noël, or Father Christmas, and Bûche de Noël, the Yule log, among many others. A traditional dish for this Réveillon is tortillé, a savory meat pie, and gifts are opened during Réveillon, often following midnight mass. The royal Christmas message from the Canadian monarch is televised nationwide in Canada, the occasion being an observance which unites the Canadians with citizens of other Commonwealth countries worldwide. The observation of Boxing Day is on the day following Christmas Day is a tradition practiced in Canada, as it is in many other Anglophone countries, although not in the United States. In Canada, Boxing Day is a day, or the beginning of a few days, of deeply discounted sale prices at retail stores, which attracts large numbers of shoppers in search of bargains. Christmas is also known as Quetzalcoatl in the territories of Nunavut, the Northwest Territories, and Yukon in areas of the Nunavut, Nunavut, and Nunavut, and the Inuit celebrate it as their New Year. Greenland, Christmas in Greenland is usually celebrated on December the 24th in the evening, and on the 25th during the day. The 26th is also considered a Christmas day. The Christmas season begins on the first day of Advent, which is the fourth Sunday before Christmas, when Christmas trees are put up and decorated, and villages also put up a large Christmas tree on a nearby hill. Christmas is known as Quetzalcoatl, and the Inuit celebrate it as their New Year, just like the Northwest Territories. Mexico, it's a statutory holiday, and workers will have the day off with pay. Mexico's Christmas is filled with over 30 traditions found only within Mexican Christmas. Yeah.
Holy cow!
Over 9 days, groups of townspeople will go door to door in the fashion where the parents of the unborn baby Jesus Christ looked for shelter to pass the night when they arrived at Bethlehem, and are periodically called inside homes to participate in the breaking of the candy-filled piñata. Mexican Christmas festivities start on December the 12th, which is the feast of La Guadalupana, or Virgin of Guadalupe, and end on January 6th with the Epiphany. Since 1990s, Mexican society has embraced a new concept linking several celebrations around the Christmas season into what is known as the Guadalupe Reyes Marathon. At midnight on Christmas, many families place the figure of baby Jesus in their nativity scenes as a symbolic representation of the Christmas as a whole. In the center and south of Mexico, children receive gifts on Christmas Eve, and on January 6th, they celebrate the Feast of the Epiphany, which, according to tradition, the three wise men, or three wizard kings, brought gifts to Bethlehem for Jesus Christ. Santa Claus, or Santa Claus, as he's known in Mexico, is who brings the children their gifts, but traditionally the three wise men will fill the children's shoes with candies, oranges, tangerines, nuts, and sugarcane. Sometimes money or gold, symbolizing the very gifts that they gave to the baby Jesus in Bethlehem during his infancy in reflection of the future destiny as Savior of the world. Now, in the United States, gee, we light up everything.
No.
Christmas widely represented in the festive holiday in the United States, and Christmas Day is officially recognized federal holiday by the government. Christmas and the holiday season usually begins around the end of November, with the major shopping kickoff of Black Friday, the day after the U.S. holiday of Thanksgiving, through a period of which Christmas decorations are present and thematically appropriate music is played in stores, sometimes extends into the period between Halloween and Thanksgiving, which drives my daughter insane. Many schools and businesses are closed during the period between Christmas and New Year's Day holiday, which is commonly used to spend time with family and close friends. Most decorations are taken down by New Year's or Epiphany. Other observances considered part of the season and potentially included non-denominational holiday greetings like Happy Holidays include Hanukkah, Yule, Epiphany celebrations, and December 26th, popularly referred to as Boxing Day or St. Stephen's Day elsewhere in the Western world, is only known widely as Day After Christmas in the U.S. and is observed by a number of states under that name, but not as a federal holiday. Again, Christmas known as Wayback in the state of Alaska, and in the Inuit, the Yupik, and the Aleut, and the Inupiat celebrate it as their New Year. Interiors and exteriors of homes are decorated throughout the weeks leading up to Christmas. Christmas tree farms in the United States and Canada provide families with trees for their homes, many opting for artificial ones, but some for the real one. Christmas trees usually stand for centrally in the home, decorated with ornaments, tinsel, and lights, with an angel at top or a star symbolizing the Star of Bethlehem at the top. Christmas Eve is popularly described as the night before Christmas, and the poem actually titled A Visit from St. Nicholas, better known as Santa Claus. He is said to visit homes while children are sleeping during the night before Christmas morning. The fireplaces in many homes have been replaced by electric fireplaces, but the Yule log has remained a tradition. Christmas stockings are hung on the mantelpiece for Santa Claus to fill with little gifts. Stocking stuffers is a tradition throughout the United States for children to leave a glass of milk and a plate of Christmas cookies for Santa Claus nearby. Presents the family will exchange are wrapped and placed under the tree, including presents to be given to pets. Friends exchange wrapped presents and tell each other not to open the presents before Christmas.
I always do.
Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, and occasionally guests from out of town are entertained in the home or else visited. Wrapped presents are most commonly opened the morning of Christmas Day. However, some families choose to open all or some of the presents on Christmas Eve, depending on evolving family traditions, logistics, and the age of the children involved. For example, adults might open their presents on Christmas Eve and minor children on Christmas morning, or everyone might open theirs on Christmas morning. Others follow the tradition of opening family exchange gifts the Christmas Eve night, followed by opening presents Santa brought on Christmas morning. Children are normally allowed to play with their new toys and games afterwards.
No.
Traditional Christmas dinner usually featured either roasted turkey with stuffing, sometimes dressing, ham or roast beef, potatoes, squash, roasted vegetables, or cranberry sauce are served along with tonics and sherries. A variety of sweet pastry and eggnog sprinkled with cinnamon and nutmeg are served in the United States. Certain dishes such as casseroles or desserts are also prepared with a family recipe, usually kept a secret. Sometimes families partake in a religious tradition, such as the consumption of a Christmas wafer. In the Christian families of European ancestry, fruits, nuts, cheeses, and chocolates are enjoyed as snacks. From our family side of things, because we're all burned out on turkey from Thanksgiving, a lot of times we'll wind up having ham.
Yes.
Ham with some mashed potatoes, some stuffing, because Sue doesn't like soggy bread, I'll eat. And then what we used to do growing up is that every other year, one year it would be Christmas Eve, the following year it would be Christmas Day. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was how we did it growing up.
I'm not saying that that's not how you did it. I'm just trying to remember, since we've been together, which has been a bazillion years.
how we have it
we've
spread
done it.
out.
Yeah, I think it's always been Christmas Day, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Now, other traditions include a special church service on the Sunday before Christmas and midnight mass on Christmas Eve. Candlelight services are held earlier in the evening for families with children, and special Christmas services may be held earlier in the season for people who are traveling out of town closer to the holiday. Reenactment of the Nativity of Jesus, called a nativity play, is another tradition. I've done a couple of those. Those are kind of fun.
I don't think I've ever done one, but I've watched a couple.
Yep. Christmas-related tourist attractions, such as the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree and the elaborate animated department store Christmas windows in New York City, are heavily visited by tourists from all over the world. Christmas music can be heard in the background. The Mormon Tabernacle Choir is one of whose annual carol singing is well recognized. Christmas Symphony Orchestra and choral presentations such as Handel's Messiah and performances of the Nutcracker Ballet are attended. Local radio stations may temporarily switch format to play exclusively Christmas music.
Yep.
Some going all Christmas format as early as mid-October. Haven't done that in a few years.
No, usually, at least around here, they wait until
Maybe
after
the week
Thanksgiving.
before. Depending on the station.
Depending on the station.
Yeah.
It varies from, I'm just saying the earliest I've heard locally is after Thanksgiving.
Here's one I've never seen. A few television stations will broadcast a Yule log without interruption for several hours.
That's now on YouTube.
That's on YouTube?
You can do a Yule log for several hours on YouTube.
Oh, Angel would love
so
that.
I'm guessing they don't do it on TV anymore because
Probably
why
not,
would you do it that way?
News broadcasts and talk shows feature Christmas-themed segments emphasizing fellowship and goodwill among neighbors. A particular note is the observance of Christmas for military families of soldiers and sailors serving abroad on both sides of the Canada-United States border. The Lakers have made it a tradition since they relocated from Minneapolis prior to the 1960-61 NBA season to have a home game on Christmas. As of 2015, the NBA now schedules 5 games on Christmas, including classic rivalry games as well as a rematch of the previous season's NBA Finals. Down south to Brazil, Christmas Day is on December the 25th, national holiday. But because Brazil lies on the southern hemisphere, Brazilians celebrate Christmas in the summer. In small cities in the entire country, as well as larger cities like Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Recife, Salvador, Fortaleza, Curitiba, Porto Alegre, Goiânia, Brasília, Manaus, Belém, Natal, and Belo Horizonte, the celebrations resemble in many ways the traditions of European and North America, with the Christmas tree, the exchanging of gifts and Christmas cards, the decoration of houses and buildings with electric lights, and the nativity scene. Despite the warm tropical summer weather, some incongruences such as decorations with themes of winter and snow are not uncommon. In some cities like Guaraparva, there are decoration contests where judges go to houses to look at the decorations inside or outside of the house to decide the most beautiful house. Christmas Eve is one of the most important days. Unlike North America and the Anglo-Saxon tradition, Christmas takes action mainly near midnight, usually with a big family dinner, opening of gifts, and the celebration of the Missa de Galo, Rooster's Mass, in churches throughout the nation. Many Brazilians decorate their homes with a Christmas tree. There is no rule, and the parents can decorate it by themselves as a surprise to the kids, or they can do it together. In addition to the Christmas tree, the family set up a nativity scene as the main decoration. Nativity scenes are very popular in Brazil and can be seen everywhere, including churches and popular places around the town. Like many other countries, Christmas dinner in Brazil is normally served late in the evening on Christmas around 10 or 11 p.m. Meal often includes...
That's really late.
Yeah. You must not have any supper. Or just have snacks.
Cow.
Yeah.
It sounds like what we do for New Year's, because we know we have to be up late. Of course,
Yeah.
we don't wait till 10, but it's like 9 or 10.
9 or 10, yeah. It says the meal often includes farofa stuffing, assortments of fruit, fried cod, roast turkey with a dessert called rapanada. Along with their meals, Brazilians typically drink champagne, wine, and fruit punch. Typically after they eat, many Brazilians attend a midnight mass service or watch the Pope's television broadcast of midnight mass in Rome with family and friends.
I've never actually watched that.
Colombia, public holiday in Colombia, and particularly religious celebration, presents are brought by El Niño Jesus, the Niño Dios, or Baby Jesus, While Christmas decorations may be put up early in the beginning of November, and an unofficial start of the Colombian Christmas festivities takes place on December 7th, or Day of the Candles. At night, the streets, sidewalks, balconies, porches, and driveways are decorated with candles and paper lanterns, which illuminate cities and towns in a yellow glow to honor the Immaculate Conception on the following day, December the 8th. In many cities, and even in small rural towns, neighborhoods get together and decorate their whole neighborhood or street, turning the streets into virtual tunnels of light. Many radio stations and local organizations hold contests for the best display of lights, making the competition for the best light show a serious event. The city of Medellin has become a popular tourist destination during the holiday season because of this Christmas lights. Activities such as musical events and fireworks displays are planned by cities and held during these times. Individually launched fireworks are a common item during the Christmas season, often going on at the time of day in many cities. However, a recent ban has decreased the individual use of fireworks, and now only cities or towns are able to hold fireworks displays. Darn it. December 16th is the first Christmas novena, a devotion consisting of prayers said on 9 consecutive days, the last one held on Christmas Eve. The novena is promoted by the Catholic Church as a staple of Christmas, is very similar to the Podestas celebrated in Mexico, as a call for the understanding of the religious meaning of Christmas and a way to counter the commercialism of the Christmas season. Individual traditions concerning the novena may vary, but most families set up a pesebre or manger scene, sing religious Christmas carols called villanciosos, accompanied by tambourines, bells, or other simple percussion instruments, and read verses from the Bible as well as an interpretation which may change from year to year. Novenas serve as a beautiful religious gathering as well as learning environments for young children, since kids have a central and active role in the celebration of novenas. They read prayers, sing, and play instruments guided by their family. From December 16th to 24, games called Alinguendos are played and have made a pinky promise, deciding the prize for the winner and the punishment for the loser. The games include Hablar y no contestar, talk but don't answer, Di Paro...
Wait, what?
That's the name of the games.
Interesting.
Di Paro nos reciben, give but don't receive, Paja in boca, straw in the mouth, Tres pies, 3 feet, Beso robado, stolen
I
kisses.
want to know the rules to some of these
So
games.
do I want to look up these games. See or no, yes or no. Churches offer dawn and nightly masses during the 9 days of novena, culminating in the Misa de Gallo, Rooster's Mass, on Christmas Eve at midnight. Christmas Eve is the most important day at Christmas in Colombia. Families and friends get together to pray the last novena and wait until midnight to open the presents. Parties are held until sunrise on Christmas Day. Kids stay up late playing with their new presents, and fireworks fill the skies. Families gather around meals, music, and singing. Because Christmas Eve is the most important day, little occurs on December the 25th. Families join Christmas Day Mass, although it is not nearly as festive as Christmas Eve. Dios los Santos Inocentes, or Day of the Innocents, falls in the Christmas season on December the 28th. This day commemorates the innocent infants, called the Innocent Ones. They're said to have been killed by King Herod in fear of the power of the newborn baby Jesus. January the 6th, the day of revelation of the Magi, Epiphany, is called Reyes Magos, from the 3 Magi, used as a day of gift-giving, but is celebrated less now that gifts are given mostly around Christmas Eve today. Some families still give presents. It is also the day that godparents give Christmas presents. Guyana, Christmas Day, a public holiday in Guyana, is celebrated by native and overseas Guyanese. People participate in street parades of colorful masquerades filled with colorful outfits and performances. Popular traditional Christmas food is pepper pot, a national dish and a type of meat stew eaten during breakfast. Uruguay, on the 25th is Christmas Day, a public holiday, and although it is officially called Family Day since the separation of church and state at the beginning of the 20th century. However, celebration known as Navidad, or Christmas celebration, is celebrated in a secular manner. The Christmas and holiday season begins on December the 8th, Feast of the Immaculate Conception, being the day on which Christmas tree is traditionally set up and Christmas decorations are put up in homes, shops, and streets. including in many homes the Villain or Presepe nativity scene. In many cities, Christmas markets are set up where toys, clothes, decorations, and food are sold. Celebrations begin at nightfall on Christmas Eve, December the 24th, with family gatherings where traditionally they eat asado, vitel toné, and desserts such as turrón and patillon, which are incorporated into the Uiguran culture due to European immigration into the country. At the stroke of midnight, people flock to the streets to enjoy fireworks and light firecrackers. Meanwhile, Papa Noel, Santa Claus, leaves next to the Christmas trees gifts that the children ask for in letters that are left throughout the mouth of shopping centers and different places where the character hangs out. There is also an exchange of gifts between family and friends. It should be month, not mouth. Because Uruguay lies in the southern hemisphere, again, Christmas is celebrated in the summer, which is an open-air music festival held from noon on the 24th and early morning until the 25th, mainly in coastal cities such as Montevideo and Punta del Este, which receives a large number of tourists from neighboring countries. On Christmas Day, the whole population has that day off to be with their family and friends, so public transport, malls, and offices are closed down. At Venezuela, Christmas is celebrated as a religious occasion, as in Colombia. The presents are brought by El Niño Jesus, baby Jesus, instead of Papa Noel. It still has an important role during the season. Unofficial start of the festivities after the celebrations of Fiera de la Cinta, the second half of November. The origin of the festival is to honor the Virgin Mary of Chintacoquara with various religious activities, processions, and music in the typical Yata style to honor La Cinta, nickname of this virgin. The event takes place in the Zula region, specifically the Marabisico, the regional capital. After this, other cities join in the festivities, and many activities take place, including musical events and firework displays. In many cities, small rural towns and neighborhoods get together with these Montañas night festivals where children go and play with skateboards, rollerblades, and bicycles. These events are usually sponsored by the local church, where neighbors organize themselves and sell typical Christmas food, hot chocolate, glacia, cookies, etc. And still in some neighborhoods, there are parranda where people will go from house to house with music and Christmas songs. The singers stop at neighbors' houses to get some food and drinks. Also, the Venezuelan Andes, there's the same tradition of this kind of event, but they carry an image of baby Jesus, and it's called Pandera del Niño. Children write request letters to the baby Jesus. The presents are sent by baby Jesus at midnight, and most people have a party which goes on until sunrise.
I find it weird that people think Jesus brings them gifts.
Yeah, it's kind of unique.
I understand the concept of
Santa or Jesus.
Yeah, I understand celebrating Jesus' birth and giving him a gift, but it seems like he already gave us a gift, so why is he giving us more material gifts? That seems backwards somehow.
This is a little odd, yeah. Well, on to Asia. You've got Uzbekistan. Now, Christmas is not an official holiday. Out of the population of 35 million, approximately 2.2% is Russian Orthodox. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, this number has continued to decline as ethnic Russians and other Orthodox Christians emigrate to other countries. The Christians of Uzbekistan celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December in the Julian calendar used by the Church, which falls on the 7th of January in the common Gregorian calendar. Much like the rest of the Soviet Union, Christmas was largely erased from the calendar during much of the 20th century during the Soviet anti-religious policies, but many of the traditions survived, having been translated to New Year's. Christmas is still eclipsed by the New Year's Day in Uzbekistan, which remains a major holiday even among Christians. Christmas symbols and decorations similar to those found in Europe or the U.S. can be seen on the streets of many main cities, but for the majority of the population, Christmas is simply part of the New Year's celebration. Many people, including Muslims, celebrate by decorating a Christmas tree, even though they do not celebrate Christmas, and call the tree a New Year's tree. In China, it's not a legal holiday. However, it's still designated December the 25th as a public holiday. China's special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau, former colonies of the UK and Portugal, respectively. In the mainland, a small percentage of Chinese Christians who consider themselves Christians unofficially usually privately, observe Christmas. Many other individuals celebrate Christmas-like festivities, even though they do not consider themselves Christians. Many customs, including sending cards, exchanging gifts, hanging stockings, are very similar to the Western celebrations. Commercial Christmas decorations, signs, and other symbolic items have become increasingly prevalent during the month of December in large urban centers of mainland China, reflecting a cultural interest in the Western phenomenon and sometimes the retail marketing campaigns as well. So they got to get in on the game. Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, where Christmas is a public holiday, many buildings facing Victoria Harbor will be decorated with Christmas lights. Christmas trees are found in major malls and other public buildings, and in some homes as well, despite the small living area. Catholics in Hong Kong can attend Christmas Mass. Hong Kong was deeply influenced by the British and Western culture during the colonial era. Christmas is one of the most valued festivals in Hong Kong after Lunar New Year. The Christmas atmosphere is also stronger than most countries in Asia. Both Christmas Day on December 25th and Boxing Day on the 26th are public holidays. On Boxing Day on the 26th, there are no holiday and no supplementary holiday. The custom of celebrating Christmas in the early years was not extensive. It was not common until the 1970s that Hong Kong society stabilized, and the number of people celebrating Christmas began to increase. Although Christians account for only 1/8 of the population of Hong Kong, the Christmas Day atmosphere is still strong. Public generally sees this annual holiday as a big day for vacations, travel, carnivals, pastime, dating, or making friends. The interior and exterior walls of many shopping malls are quickly removed from Halloween after October 31st, and Christmas decorations and lighting were replaced in mid-November. The facades of buildings on both sides of the Victoria Harbor, Tin Sha Tui, and Crest Central, they are all decorated with Christmas lights. Christmas trees can be seen everywhere, and a giant 15-meter-high Christmas tree will be erected at the Statue Square Central. Many citizens have started relating activities in early December, such as having Christmas parties, having Christmas dinners, and exchanging Christmas gifts. Protestant and Catholic religious centers in Hong Kong will publish Christmas announcements on Christmas Eve. Although December 24th, the day before Christmas, is not a holiday, some office organizations will let employees and bosses get off work early, and the stock market will only open for the morning on that day. Christmas Eve at night is the climax of the festive atmosphere. The Causeway Bay, Len Kwa Fong, and the Tin Shan Tui in Central are crowded with people enjoying Christmas lights and carnivals. The churches and chapels held midnight masses that evening, and some Protestants and Catholics attended religious gatherings. Some shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues that are still open during Christmas, while public transportation such as the MTR and buses will be available overnight on Christmas Eve. All primary and secondary schools, kindergartens, and tertiary institutions in Hong Kong will have Christmas holidays. Most primary and secondary schools usually hold Christmas parties on December 20th or 21st, and then Christmas holidays until New Year's Day. So Christmas and Lunar New Year is the biggest consecutive holidays throughout the year, except for summer vacation. The student organizations of colleges and universities will also hold Christmas parties from mid-December. Colleges and universities usually do not need to attend classes from Christmas Day until New Year's Day. And Hong Kong citizens will take advantage of the Christmas holidays to meet friends, family, or friends for gatherings, shopping, or pastimes, while young people like to spend holidays with couples or find partners during the holiday, just like another Valentine's Day. In addition, the people of Hong Kong generally think their Christmas gifts must be opened until Boxing Day, December 26th, and this day is also referred to as gift opening day, but in fact, most people open their Christmas gifts as early as Christmas Eve in the evening of the 24th or Christmas morning on the 25th, and there's no habit of opening Christmas gifts until Boxing Day on the 26th. Some children will write to Santa Claus, but the letter will be sent to the undeliverable mail in the post office, and the staff of the department will pretend as Santa Claus to write a letter back one by one. In addition, some Hong Kong people will celebrate Christmas with the winter solstice until New Year's Day. Now, Macau, Christmas is a public holiday, and the traditions are mostly influenced by the Portuguese, since the territory was a colony until December 20th, 1999. Casinos in Macau remain open until Christmas Day. Christmas masses in Macau Catholic churches are either held in Chinese or Portuguese. Japan, encouraged by the commerce, the secular celebration of Christmas is popular, though Christmas is not a national holiday. Gifts are sometimes exchanged. Christmas parties are held around Christmas Day. Japanese Christmas cake, a white sponge cake covered with cream and decorated with strawberries, is often consumed. And stolen cake,
I'm stealing cake.
Stealing cake, either imported or made locally, is widely available. So you don't have to steal it. It's widely available.
Why is it called stolen cake?
And what's funny is it's not. It says stolen cake, but there's 2 L's in it.
I don't understand.
I don't either.
I'm confused.
I want to look up the recipe so I can stole the cake. Christmas lights decorate cities. Christmas trees adorn living areas and malls. Christmas Eve has become a national holiday for couples to spend time together and exchange gifts. A successful advertising campaign, here you go, in the 1970s made eating at KFC around Christmas time.
I knew it was one of those, so it would become a custom.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember which one it was.
So popular during the season that stores take reservations months in advance. Now, the history, it says the first recorded Christmas in Japan was a mass held by Jesuit missionaries in the Yamaguchi Prefecture in 1552. Some believe that this unrecorded celebration was held before the state, starting in 1549, when St. Francis Xavier arrived in Japan. Christianity was banned throughout Japan in 1612. However, a small enclave of Patriarchate hidden Christians continued to practice underground for the next 250 years. Christianity in Japan, along with the Christmas, reemerged in the Meiji period. Influenced by America, Christian practices were held and presents were exchanged. Practice slowly spread, but its proximity to the New Year's celebration makes it a smaller focus of attention. It became a popular celebration for non-Christians during the 1900s after the Russo-Japanese War. During World War II, all celebrations, especially Americans, were suppressed. From the 1960s, the expanding economy and influenced by American TV, Christmas became popular. Many songs and TV series present Christmas as romantic. For example, Last Christmas by Exile. Never heard of it.
No.
The birthday of the previous emperor, Akihito, on December 23rd is or was a national holiday. Businesses soon closed for the New Year's holiday, reopening after January 3rd. South Korea celebrates it as a public holiday. In South Korea, Christmas traditions are generally mixed with Korean culture and cuisine, and Christmas is especially celebrated by the Christian community, Protestants and Catholics alike. Taiwan, as only around 5% of the population is actually Christian, Christmas is not usually celebrated as a religious event in Taiwan. Before 2001, the 25th of December used to be a national holiday, as was the Constitution Day, on which the date the Constitution of the Republic of China was signed in 1947. In recent years, the secular celebration of Christmas was gaining popularity, where Christmas parties were held and gifts were sometimes exchanged. Major cities and shopping malls are now decorated with Christmas lights and trees in December to celebrate the festival. One of the most popular Christmas events in Taiwan is the Christmas Land in New Taipei City, organized by the New Taipei City government, consisting of major Christmas celebration activities and art installations. A series of activities such as the Family Garden Party, Christmas Parade Carnival, and the Christmas Eve concert are often held, despite the program being slightly different from year to year. Now, on to South Asia, Bangladesh. Christmas is known as Borodin, Big Day. Pithka, cookies, and cake are papered by Bangladesh Christians during Christmas. Christmas is a one-day public holiday. On Christmas Eve, churches hold a large dinner called Prat Bhaj, including pulao, egg korma, fish fry, and vegetable curries. On Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, prayers are generally held in church. After prayers, carol performances happen. Bengali Christian churches are also decorated with lights and Christmas trees. Some Christians also decorate their homes for celebrations or visits and give money or toys as gifts to children. Christmas is increasingly celebrated by other religions in Bangladesh, especially in urban areas. People celebrate by going to theme parks, zoos, and museums. hosting small Christmas parties in restaurants and homes, and with gift giving.
I'm going to a theme park this year.
Sounds good to me. Could be fun. Let's parade out the reindeer. Bhutan. Christmas is not an actual holiday in Bhutan, in spite of its unusual observance. Despite the country being officially Buddhist, many urban areas in the country are adorned with decorations and shops filled with miniature Santa Clauses. India, being a British colony until 1947, many British traditions stayed in India. Christmas is a state holiday in India, though Christianity in India is a minority with only 2.3% of the population of 1.237 billion people. Most of the Christians, especially Catholics in India, attend a midnight mass. Many Christian houses in India decorate Christmas cribs, and Christian houses have Christmas trees as well as brightly lit stars symbolizing the Bethlehem star outside their houses, and distribute sweets and cakes to their neighbors. In many of the schools that are run by Christian missionaries, the children's activity participates in Christmas programs. Many government schools also have the tradition of Christmas celebrations. Christmas is also increasingly celebrated by other regions in India. Christmas also is known as Big Day in the north and northwest India. People plant trees on this day. Now, Pakistan.
Sounds like Arbor Day.
Yeah, pretty close.
Day.
Christianity in Pakistan constitutes the second largest religious minority in Pakistan after Hindus. The total number of Christians is approximately 2.8 million, or 1.6 of their population. Of these, half are Roman Catholic and half Protestant. The Christians practice Christmas by going from house to house singing carols, and in return the family offers something for the choir. Mostly the money collected from such carols is used for charity works or given to the local church. The homes are decorated with local Christmas handicrafts, while artificial stars signifying the Star of Bethlehem are hung on rooftops. Special foods such as the Allahabadi fruit cake are eaten by Pakistanis during Christmastide. Christmas celebrations are also popular with the urban middle class of the country, with hotels, cafes, restaurants, and theme parks hosting festivals and special events. In Brunei, as of December 22nd, 2015, Christmas is completely banned.
Uh-oh.
But for its expatriate and local Christian community, it is celebrated as usual privately among themselves, which includes putting up Christmas trees, singing Christmas carols, nativity plays, festive greetings, and even dressing as Santa Claus. About 20% of the population are non-Muslims, and anyone caught will face up to 5 years in jail. Before the Sharia law was passed in 2014, non-Muslim expats were free to celebrate Christmas in Brunei. Sounds like they came cracking down. Indonesia. Christmas in Indonesia, formerly known as Natal from the Portuguese word from Christmas, is one of many public holidays in Indonesia, which approximately 16.5 million Protestants and 6.9 million Roman Catholics celebrated with various traditions throughout the country. In the provinces with majority or significantly of Christian, Protestants and Catholics, such as North Sumatra, Jakarta, West Kalimantan, Central Kalimantan, North Kalimantan, North Sulawesi, West Sulawesi, Central Sulawesi, East Nusa Tenggara, Maluku, the whole Papua Island, and cities like Surabaya, Tangerang, Batam, Bamberg, and Rapano, the Christmas season is filled with ceremonies, festivals, and local foods. In big cities, where shopping centers, offices, some roads, and other commercial places are mostly decorated with Christmas stuff, such as plastic Christmas trees and Sinterklaas, derived from the Dutch word Sinterklaas, and its reindeer. Most of the local television channels are broadcast Christmas musical concerts, and annual national Christmas celebrations, like concerts and shows, are held by the government. Like other countries, on Christmas Eve, people will go to church for Misa, and will go to church again the next morning, and exchanging gifts is a usual tradition for Christians in Indonesia. In addition to the traditional foods, generally every Christmas day is filled with cookies like nastar, a pineapple tart, kastengel, from the Dutch word kastengel, or potri satlu. Not sure what that is. In Malaysia, although it's a public holiday, much of the public celebration is commercial in nature and has no religious overtones. Occasionally, Christian activist groups do buy national newspaper advertorials on Christmas or Easter, but is largely only allowed in English newspapers, and permission is not given every year. The editorials themselves usually have indirect statements. There have been controversy over whether or not the national government has exerted pressure on Malaysian Christians to not use the Christian religious symbols or hymns that specifically mention Jesus Christ. In the Philippines, Christmas, one of the two predominantly Catholic countries in Asia, the other being East Timor, is one of the biggest holidays on the calendar and is widely celebrated. The country has earned the distinction of celebrating the world's largest Christmas season, with Christmas carols heard as early as September the 1st.
Oh dear.
When beer month season kicks off, traditionally, the season is officially ushered in 9-day dawn masses that start on December the 16th, similar to around on our side of the planet. They do also celebrate Rooster's Mass, Misa de Gallo, in the traditional Spanish. These masses are popularly known as Tagalog as the Simbang Gabi, which are held in Catholic parishes and chapels nationwide. Usually, aside from the already legal holidays, which is Rizal Day, December the 30th, and New Year's Eve on the 31st, other days close to proximity, like Christmas Eve, the 24th, Ninos Intos, the December 28th, and Epiphany, traditionally January 6th or the first Sunday in January, are also declared non-working days. As many East Asian countries, secular Christians displays are both common in business establishments and in public, including lights, Christmas trees, depictions of Santa Claus despite the tropical climate, and Christmas greetings in various foreign languages and various Philippine languages. Occasionally, such displays are left in place even in summer. For example, the Powell representing the Star of Bethlehem, which led the three kings to the newborn baby Jesus. For Filipinos, Christmas Eve, Tagalog Vesperas en Pasco, or Spanish Vespera del Dia de Navidad, on December 24th, is celebrated with Midnight Mass. And immediately after, the much-anticipated Noche Buena, the traditional Christmas Eve feast. Family members dine together around 12 midnight for the traditional Noche Buena fare, which may include queso de bola, a ball of cheese, which is actually edam cheese, toscolate, a hot chocolate drink, and jomon, Christmas ham, lechon, roast chicken or turkey, pasta, relleno, stuffed mangoes or chicken, pan de sal, and various desserts, including cakes and ubiquitous fruit salad. Some would also open presents at this time. On December the 31st, New Year's Eve, Tagalog Vesperos del Balantao, or in Spanish, Vespera del Año Nuevo, Filipino families gather for the medianoche or midnight meal, a feast which is supposed to symbolize the hopes of a prosperous new year. In spite of the campaign against firecrackers, many Filipinos still see these as traditional means to greet the new year. The loud noises and sounds of merrymaking are supposed to drive away bad spirits.
Yeah.
Safer methods of merrymaking, including banging on pots or pans, blowing car horns. Folk believes include encouraging children to jump at the stroke of midnight in the belief that they will grow up tall, displaying circular fruit and wearing clothes with dots and other circular designs to symbolize money, eating 12 grapes at midnight for good luck for the 12 months of the new year, and opening windows and doors during the first day of New Year to let in good luck.
I've heard that one.
Yeah. Christmas officially ends on the Feast of the Three Kings, Tres Reyes in Spanish, or Tatlong Hari in Tagalog, also known as the Feast of Epiphany. The Feast of the Three Kings, traditionally commemorated on January the 6th, but is now celebrated on the first Sunday after New Year. Some children will leave their shoes out in the belief that the three kings will leave gifts like candy or money inside, but the celebrations do not end there, since 2011 is mandated by the Catholic Church. There are either the second Sunday of January or Monday after Epiphany in honor of the Lord Jesus' baptism in the Jordan, the solemnity of the Lord's baptism, or in Spanish, Solemnidad de Bautismo el Señor. The first salvo of these celebrations is marked by the Feast of the Black Nazarene every January 9th in Manila, and Cayagan de Oro, but can also due to the celebrations in honor of the Santo Nino in the second and fourth Sundays of January in some places, even extend until the final weeks of that month. They really like to throw their parties.
Apparently.
Now, Singapore is a public holiday that is celebrated. Christmas season is also a popular period for shopping centers and businesses to conduct year-end sales and will offer discounts and promotions to tie in with the festivities. Famous Singaporean shopping belt, the Orchard Road, as well as Marina Bay, feature lights and other decorations from early November until early January. Christmas light-ups in decorated shopping malls along both attractions will attract numerous visitors, locals, tourists alike. Other than the light-up, other activities such as caroling, concerts, and parades can be experienced on the Orchard Road. In addition, companies in Singapore usually arrange gift exchanges and programs on the last working day before Christmas. Thailand. Christmas is not an official public holiday in Thailand, and the majority of the population adheres to the Buddhism. Vietnam. Christmas is not a national holiday. It's becoming increasingly popular in Vietnam. The ever wealthier Vietnamese are embracing Christmas precisely because of its non-religious glamour and commercial appeal. Locals are being more exposed to Western culture, though their type of celebrating Christmas might seem unrecognizable to some Westerners. Vietnamese are more accepting of the corporate influence because many Christmas was never based on personal values to begin with. It is not a time to have a dinner at home with family or show thanks for one another. Instead, it is a time to go out on the town, shop, and take pictures of friends in front of colorful displays, especially on December the 24th. This is the second most popular holiday after the Vietnamese New Year, which occurs around 1 month after Christmas, and one of the most popular working days in Vietnam. Christmas is actually banned in the highlands, in the central highlands of Vietnam, and in some cases observers have reported harassment by authorities, including accusations of attempting to overthrow the regime. On to Western Asia. Armenia usually celebrates Christmas around January the 6th, again, due to Soviet influences and the Greek Orthodox. The reason for the unusual date emerges from ancient history. In the 4th century Roman Catholic Church officials established the date of Christmas as December the 25th. Before that time, Armenians celebrated Christmas on January 6th as a public holiday in Armenia. It also coincides with the Epiphany. The Armenians denied the new Roman mandate regarding Christmas and continued to celebrate both the Nativity and Jesus' baptism on January 6th. When the Gregorian calendar was implemented in 1582, the Armenians rejected the reformed calendar and elected to remain following the Julian calendar. But today, only the Armenian Patriarch of Jerusalem still uses the Julian calendar, since the Julian calendar is 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar. When the Armenians of Jerusalem celebrate Christmas on January 6th according to the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar counts the day as January 19th. Traditionally, Armenians fast during the week leading up to Christmas by avoiding all meat, eggs, and dairy products. Devout Armenians may even refrain from food for the 3 days leading up to the Christmas Eve in order to receive the Eucharist on a pure stomach. Christmas Eve is particularly rich in traditions. Families gather for the Christmas Eve dinner, which generally consists of rice, fish, nebbik, a dish of green chard and chickpeas, and a yogurt wheat soup. Dessert includes dried fruits and nuts, including rotik, which consists of a whole shelled walnut threaded on a string and encased into grape jelly. Bastuk, a paper-like confection of grape jelly, cornstarch, and flour. The lighter menu is designed to ease the stomach off the week-long fast and prepare it for rather more substantial Christmas Day dinner. Children will take presents of fruit, nuts, and other candies to older relatives. On the eve of the Feast of the Nativity and the Theope of Lord Jesus Christ, the Jacquelotes, Divine Liturgy, the lighting of the lamp service, is celebrated in honor of the manifestation of Jesus as the Son of God. In addition to the Christmas tree, Armenians, particularly in the Middle East, also erect the nativity scene. Christmas in the Armenian tradition is purely a religious affair. Santa Claus does not visit the nice Armenian children on Christmas, but rather on New Year's Eve. The idea of Santa Claus existed before the Soviet Union and he was named Kaghan Papik. But the Soviet Union had a great impact even on Santa Claus. Now he goes by the more secular name of Grandfather Winter.
Milan.
Yes. Now the Assyrians, an indigenous people in northwest Iran, northern Iraq, and northwestern Syria, and southeastern Turkey, they celebrate Christmas on December the 25th. Assyrians colloquially call Christmas Ida Zora, meaning little holiday. It's officially called Ida Yom Tolde, which means birthday holiday. Traditionally, Assyrians would fast from December the 1st till Christmas Day. Wow, they'd starve to death. In Iraq, for instance, Assyrian families congregate outside of the house and hold lighted candles while a child reads aloud the nativity story. Then they all sing psalms over a bonfire made of thorn bushes. Folklore said that the thorns burned to ashes, the family will have good luck. After the fire has been reduced to ashes, the family members will jump 3 times over the ashes and make a wish. The next day, on Christmas, as another bonfire burns in the churchyard, the bishops lead the service while carrying a figure of baby Jesus. He blesses one person with a touch. This person touches the next person, and the touch passes until all around have felt the touch of peace. Many Assyrians will attend the Shratra, or midnight vigil, before Christmas. On Christmas Day, when families gather together after the Shratra, or the morning mass, Raza Demaran, a fast is broken by eating traditional Assyrian foods, such as pasha, rish agli, meaning from the head to the tail, which is a boiled soup porridge made of ground wheat and chicken. Both dishes are prepared usually overnight. These 2 dishes are only made twice a year, on Christmas and Easter. Traditional desserts eaten after the main course include kalichi, a date and walnut stuffed cookie, and kere, another stuffed pastry. After the feast is finished, Assyrians will visit the houses of family and friends to exchange Christmas greetings, saying Erkan Bethka, meaning may your feast be blessed. There, the host will serve tea, Turkish coffee, and kalicha and kere to the guests. Although Christmas is celebrated in a much more religious fashion in recent years, families will put up a small Christmas tree in the house. Lebanon does officially celebrate Christmas. The Lebanese celebrate Christmas on December the 25th, except for the Armenian Lebanese.
Hey, close to your birthday.
Yeah.
That makes you a Christmas baby.
Yes. The Armenian Lebanese will celebrate Christmas on January 6th, which is also an official holiday in Lebanon. So both holidays get official recognition. Lebanese families will come together and butcher a sheep for the Christmas Eve event in honor of the birth of the shepherd Jesus Christ. On that night, the head of the house passes around a piece of coal representing the sins before Christ. After the piece of coal has been passed around, it is then set on fire. After dinner, Christian Lebanese will attend midnight mass. Santa Claus is known by the French Papa Noel. Gifts are either dropped off at church or Papa Noel makes a personal appearance at the home. Now, Jordan Christians observe Christmas on December the 25th. The Muslim majority of Jordan also takes part in Christmas as a holiday, and during this time, shops and streets in Jordan are colorfully decorated during the festivals. In Iraq, Christmas is celebrated by the Christians in Iraq, and in 2018 was declared an official state holiday for the first time. In recent years, though, an increasing amount of Muslims have also started celebrating Christmas as a secular holiday. On to Europe. In countries of Central Europe, for this purpose, roughly defined by the German-speaking countries of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, as well as the Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia, Slovenia, Hungary, and possibly other places, the main celebration date is Christmas Eve on the 24th. This day is usually a fasting day. In some places, children are told that they will see a golden pig if they hold their fast until after dinner. When the evening comes, preparation of Christmas.
Wait, they're serving dinner and fasting?
Apparently.
That seems weird.
Yeah. Tradition.
And mean.
Yeah. You can't eat yet. You're fasting. Traditions concerning dinner vary from region to region. For example, Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovakia Prevailing meal is fried carp with a potato salad and fish or cabbage soup. However, in some places the tradition is porridge with mushrooms, a modest dish, and elsewhere the dinner is exceptionally rich, with up to 12 dishes. When Christmas comes around, children may receive presents from neighbors and house guests. House pets may also receive gifts. After the dinner comes the time for gifts. Children usually find their gifts under the Christmas tree with name stickers. An interesting example of this complicated history of the reason is the fight between Christmas beings. During communism, when the countries of Central Europe were under Soviet influence, communist authorities strongly pushed Russia's Grandfather Frost in the place of Little Jesus. Now, Santa Claus is attacking by means of advertising in Hollywood and film production. Many people, Christians as well, people with just a Christian background, go to a Roman Catholic midnight mass. Other common attributes of the Christmas in Central Europe include Christmas trees, mistletoe, Christmas garlands, and Bethlehem cribs. In other areas of Central Europe, St. Nicholas makes his appearance, or Santa Claus, does not come for Christmas. He visits families as St. Nicholas on December 6th, and for well-behaved students and kids, he has presents and candy bags to put into their well-polished shoes that they set in the windows the previous evening. Although neither parks his sleigh on rooftops nor climbs chimneys, his visits are usually accompanied by a diabolic-looking servant named Krampus.
Krampus!
In Austria, Slovenia, and Croatia, Krampus in Czech and Slovak, he is simply Cert, devil without any name, who gives golden-colored birches for so-called badly behaved children. Actually, all children get both gifts and golden birches in their shoes no matter how they behave themselves. So you get stuck one or the other, or both. That's weird.
That's mean.
Yeah. Austria and Germany and some German-speaking countries, particularly in Catholic regions of the West and southern Germany, Switzerland, Austria, South Tyrol, and Liechtenstein, as well as other Catholic regions of Central Europe, the Christ kind, literally Christ child, brings presents on the evening of December the 24th, Holy Evening, or Helmer Abend. The Christ kind is invisible, thus he is never seen by anyone. However, he rings a bell just before he leaves in order to let children know that the Christmas tree and the presents are ready. It is a tradition to lavishly decorate a Christmas tree in the days directly before Christmas, or in the morning of Christmas Eve. Late on Christmas Eve, after the bell rings, the tree is shown to the children and presents are exchanged. In Protestant churches, there is a service in the late afternoon intended to be immediately precede the Christmas Eve meal and exchanging of gifts. This service, called Christvesper, consists of most often of scriptural readings, the Christmas Gospel from Luke, 2nd, Kriststoppel, the Nativity play, favorite Christmas carols, and festive music for organs and choirs. Some regions in the tradition of Quempos singing is still popular. Some Lutheran churches also celebrate a candlelight service at midnight, besides Christmas Vespers, in the afternoon or early evening. Many Catholic churches also have a first Mass of Christmas called Christmet on Helmer Abend, about 4 p.m. for the children and parents to attend before the families return home for their meal. The crib is a very important part of the celebration of the Catholic Church, especially in Bavaria. In the largely Catholic Austria, Christmas markets are a long-standing tradition. In Vienna, for example, one of the 20 so-called Christkind market is held in a large square in front of City Hall. Innsbruck opens its romantic Christmas market in the narrow medieval square at the foot of the Golden Roof. In Salzburg, the Christmas market takes over the square in front of the cathedral with its picturesque stalls, while the tree vendors occupy residence plots on the side of the huge cathedral. However, almost every small town has its own Christmas market. In Austria, Christmas trees play a very important part of the Christmas celebrations. Every town sets up its own huge tree on the main square, and all decorated with electric candles, ornaments, and various decorations resembling candles or other sweets, and frequently there will be an extra one adorned with breadcrumbs for the birds. In families, the tree is decorated with gold and silver ornaments or stars made out of straw, sweets, or candy wrapped in tinfoil, gilded nuts, etc. The Feast of St. Nicholas marks the beginning of Christmas in Austria. On Christmas Eve, December the 24th, the tree is lit for the first time, and the whole family gathers to sing Christmas carols like Silent Night. The gifts are placed under the tree to be opened after dinner on Christmas Eve. Austrian Christmas tradition has it that the Christ child himself, who decorates the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve and brings the children their presents, and it is to him that their letters and wish lists are addressed in the weeks before Christmas. So these folks use the Christ child instead of Santa Claus.
That's so weird.
That is very weird. And then the Christmas tree dinner is the main event before the night. It's often served with fried carp, a common confectionery served during that time, like Valenstampi, along with Zerstrud, macaroons, and various kinds of gingerbread. Germany, the Christmas tradition varies by region. Till its Reformation, St. Nicholas Day was celebrated on December 6th, and St. Nicholas was the main provider of the Christmas presents. Nicholas still puts together goodies in children's shoes on that day. Sometimes St. Nicholas visits the children in kindergarten, schools, or at public events. They'll have to recite a short poem or sing a song in order to get sweets or a small gift. Connect Rushbrit, the servant Rushbrit, dressed in dark clothes with a devil-like trace, usually noted with a long red tongue, and with a stick and a small whip in his hand, sometimes accompanies St. Nicholas. His duty is to punish those children who have not behaved during the year. Usually the merely stands near St. Nicholas as a warning to be good and polite. Nicholas is also, as well, for some Gloheim with adults, there are some traditions connected with the local firefighters, writers' associations, and church congregations.
Yeah, interesting.
The Swords, a minority in Saxony and parts of Brandenburg and language similar to Polish, have some specific traditions. Janewald, the Burschkind, peasant's kid, is visiting neighbors. A girl dressed as a local costume and veil goes around with two companions at the Wednesday before Christmas. It provides smaller presents like sweets, similar to the Nicholas, and provides blessings, stays, however, silent. Another tradition in Saxony is related to the wooden toy making of the Ormounds. Especially Seffern provides Christmas-related decorations like the Christmas pyramid and toys around the year. Christmas letters may be addressed to Engelskarpen, Angel's Church, or Helfelforten, Heaven's Gate, or some other municipalities with matching names. After privatization, the Dutch post office kept the tradition of dedicated Christmas offices, one in each state, answering letters and requests from the children. Currently, the actual Christmas giving, gift giving in German Bescherung, usually takes place on Christmas Eve. This tradition was introduced by the reformer Martin Luther, as it was his opinion that one should put the emphasis on Christ's birth and not on a saint's day, and do away with the connection that the gifts have to be earned by good behavior. The gift should be seen as a gift of God's grace from Christ. This tradition became common in predominantly Catholic regions as well. Gifts may be bought by the welcome man, translation Christmas man, who resembles either St. Nicholas or the American Santa Claus, or by Christenkind, a sprite-like child who may or may not represent baby Jesus. Till 1930, there was sort of a south-north divide between the realms of Southern and Sicilian Christkind and Nordic Wassermann. After the gifts are opened, the children often stay up as late as they like, often until the early hours of the morning. The Christmas tree is first put up and decorated on the morning of the 24th. The gifts are then placed under the tree. Christmas services in the church served, as well as to exchange greetings with neighbors and friends. After the evening meal, one of the parents usually goes into the room where the tree is standing, lights the candles, and rings a little bell. Then the children are allowed to go into the candlelit room. Many families are still accustomed to sing Christmas songs around the tree before opening up the presents. Some families attend a midnight church service, Christmas event, after the evening meal and gift giving. The culinary feast either takes place at supper on Christmas Eve or the first day of Christmas. Traditions vary from region to region. Carp is eaten in many parts of the country. potato salad with frankfurters or Wiener sausage is popular in some families. Another simple meal, which some families favor, especially in regions where Christmas Eve still has the character of a fast day, is vegetable or pea soup. In some regions, especially in Schleswig Holstein, where Danish influence is notable, roasted duck or goose filled with plums, apples, and raisins is a family tradition. In other regions, especially in Mecklenburg or Pomerania, many families prefer kale with boiled potatoes, special sausages, and hams. Many families have developed new traditions for themselves and eat such meals such as meat fondue or raclette. Some families in all parts of Germany bake a special type of Christmas cookie according to recipes typical for the family in the region. Lutenweinshaken describes the hunting and forestry custom of providing a Christmas tree with food decorated for animals. But the primary thing we look at is that a lot of these all base on either a Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, or the Christ child as being the source of gifts. A lot of them, even the seculars believe in using a tree as a focal point for Christmas. The exchanging of gifts, it's a habit that dates back, several centuries. And it's a holiday that's celebrated unless it's, banned by certain countries around the world. And they won't primarily focus on 2 or 3 primary holidays, Christmas, New Year's, or the Epiphany on the 6th of January. But next week we'll take a look at a little bit of the history behind the tying it down to the 24th and 25th of December, and we'll add to our history lesson. Please turn in papers 203 and 204, and I will sign off for your college credit. This has been the Bud Historian, the bearded one. You folks have a good evening out there.